Hey, I'm Isaac with Hearthside Woodworks. Today I'll be working on a pirate's chest full of gold and old bones. So today's project is actually a late 19th century steamer trunk. When it first came into the shop, I initially thought that it might be a stagecoach trunk. But as I got into it more, there's a clue as to why that's not the case, and I'll show you here in a minute. So you'll be able to see as I open this up, the interior has definitely been used. It does look a little rough, but it's still in good structural shape. And you can see where there used to be a tray sitting up on top of this. And that unfortunately is long gone. That definitely have our work cut out for us. This is really a very cool looking steamer trunk. I really like the lines of it. I really like the patina. My client doesn't want me to completely restore this to look brand new, and that is like the best thing. I prefer to do what I call a refresh on pieces like this, and it really is maintaining the age and the patina of it, but really just kind of brightening it up and making it look a little nicer, a little cleaner, and even make it not smell. At first I thought maybe this was going to be leather, and while it may have been, it also at this point it feels more like a tar paper material. But you know, pieces like this, you know, they're just it's just. But look at the detail on the tin work. That's really cool. And so for the most part, this is just going to be cleaning up and getting some finished material on it to help seal the wood up, really pop the colors and the tones that are already here, and just make it a usable trunk for. Another thing I'm going to have to do is, you can see these handles are gone, and these of course were a very thick, very sturdy leather at some point, but it's not uncommon for these to come into the shop with no handles. So hopefully I can find somebody local to reproduce these for me. If not, I've always got the internet. But this is a cool little detail that I actually haven't seen on any other trunk that I've worked on, are these anchors on the handle brackets. I just think that's really cool. Real quickly, I thought I would show you a trunk that is in not as good a condition as the one I'm about to start on. This is the bottom. And I can include, maybe I'll throw in a couple of pictures of what this used to look like. And you can see the interior of it is actually in really rough shape too. So I'm going to be replacing this whole bottom side and then basically doing a similar concept or a similar kind of restoration on this one as the one that I'm working on. But I just thought I'd show you what a really bad one would look like too. Remember, some of these stains and things like this, it's actually something that my client wants to leave to kind of show the age of the piece and kind of what it's been through, which is actually pretty cool. So next step is re-gluing all of this old fabric back down to the inside of this lid, and actually the whole piece. This lid's going to be a lot harder to do. There's more to it, but that's basically the next step. So there's still some remaining material around each one of these panels, but not all of it is salvageable. It's You know, it's really in rough shape. And all it's going to do if I try to, yeah, that just powdered in my hand. If I try to save this, kind of fasten it down and then finish over the top of it, you know, chances are probably pretty good that it's all just going to flake off and come out anyway. So the pieces that are in good shape, I'll go ahead and leave. But for the most part, I think the vast majority of this is going to have to be removed. Yeah, it's just it's toast. So unfortunately, a lot of this will have to be cut out and cleaned out. And I think in the long run, it will look better. So the rest of the material is taken off the front. I spared you the details with that. It was bad. It's just, anyway. I was able to leave one small corner. It looks like there's like a sunburst, like rays of the sun coming from whatever was here in the center. I'm gonna leave it because it's in good shape. It's connected here and here. It's laying down nicely. And I'm hoping that also it leaves just enough of a clue to maybe find out what company made this trunk. So anyway, so I was able to leave a little bit, which I'm happy with. The next step is actually going over the entire piece with some dry 4/0 steel wool. And all that's going to do is help to remove some of the surface rust. I want to leave some of the age and some of the patina. I mean, that's part of the coolness of this pirate chest steamer trunk. So you don't want to go too far with it, so I'm not going to. Fast forward a bit, I always get to this point of the project where I get one portion of it done and I just can't help myself. I have to try a little finish work. You can see very clearly the difference between this section and all I really did is vacuumed everything down, and then this whole section is actually coated in de-wax shellac. De-wax shellac is a universal binder. It's a sanding sealer. As far as woodworking goes, de-wax shellac will go over any existing finish, at least, you know, maybe a little bit of prep, some sanding to do, whatever. But you can put it on pretty much anything. And then the cool thing is that any finish that you want will actually go over the top of de-wax shellac and stick to it, which is really great. My client would really like this to be a usable piece, but also something that's nice enough to show. You know, I'm not sure where she wants to put it, But de-wax shellac, or shellac really in general, is kind of a high gloss material. It's just naturally that way, which isn't really something you always want. So what I'm going to do is, after I get everything done and I get the whole piece shellacked, I think what I'll then do is shoot it with some satin lacquer. It should look pretty good. Ooh, glue's drying. So I've gone ahead and finished cleaning the entire outside. It turned out really good. I'm happy with the way that it's cleaned up. And I've actually gone ahead and sealed the whole inside of this lid. It actually already is smelling way better than it was before. I have also fabricated these little blocks, these little corner blocks out of oak. I've got some separation right here on this top corner and just a little bit on this top corner, and I'm not happy with it. These corners are actually pretty solid. I mean, there's a little bit of movement, but so I want to repair the structure to make it more stable, but I don't want to interfere with any of this tin work on the outside. These blocks are actually the same dimensions as these two rails where the old tray used to sit. So what I'm doing is, these corner blocks are actually going to go in the corner, and they're going to get glued. And I've got these cabinet screws as well. And these blocks, they're really going to help out a lot to stabilize the entire piece. They're just standard red oak. Nothing crazy, nothing super amazing, but very strong. And that should really help tighten this entire piece up. And that is a good thing. And of course, I don't have a rag. We're safe. Come here. No. There we go. In. I don't know what it is. Whenever I start gluing, I never seem to have a rag, half the tools, or any of my clamps anywhere around me. I've been doing this for a long time. Haven't learned yet. This one's going to be trickier because I can't get in anywhere. There we go. Please don't jump and hit my finger. Please don't jump and hit my finger. Okay. So I use this hand. There we go. All right. I'm pretty much just going to do the same thing to this side. Then I always use a chisel to flatten out any blowouts, fibers sticking out of my drilled holes. That's annoying. And you might be thinking to yourself, screws and glue might be an overkill. And maybe you're right. However, antiques are still around because they were overbuilt. And I would rather overbuild, not to excess, but I'd always prefer to add just a little extra to make my stuff last, because that matters to me. Of course, you can go overboard, but I don't find this going to be overboard. No. No. Don't do that. Always. There's always one. I'll have to mess with that in a second. Let's get this other one put up. Nope. There we go. Come on. Get in there. That's what we're looking for. Now I have to pull this one back. Bar clamp. How are you doing that? You just pushed against a bar clamp. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. This guy might, oh yeah, that one's toast. All right, let's try this. Hey, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this clamp on because so it's the next day, and I've got the steamer trunk balanced precariously on this stool. I completely finished the inside last night, and it's still curing. And if I try to open this up and show you, the whole thing falls off the stool. So that'll have to wait for some other time. But what I'm gonna do now, as it's, I'm gonna work on getting some of this tin fixed. There's some places in it that it just needs to be fixed. So here we are. Everything has been cleaned, wire brushed, steel wooled, sanded, re-cleaned, vacuumed twice, and everything is nice and soft to the touch. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And so now I get to start finishing. All right, first coat is done. It's actually, the top is already dry to the touch. This product dries really, really fast, but I'm gonna let this dry for the night. Come in first thing tomorrow morning, go over the top of this with like a 3M pad, just to kind of knock off any rough edges, and then put on a second coat. And hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow, I'll be spraying the satin lacquer. So, see you in the morning. So it's about 2 o'clock the next day. I started the morning basically doing 3 more coats of exactly what I did yesterday. And I applied the final coat on the interior, which I decided on a water-based acrylic in satin, brought that shine down, makes it look a little nicer. It's a great product, I really like it, and it's gonna work great for this. So the interior, as far as the finish work, is done. On the outside, like I said, I put a couple more coats. I did more coats on these rails. I'm using a tinted version to kind of help set these components apart so they don't all blend in and look like one unit. So the next step is to apply the satin lacquer. I thought about filming it, and I think I will eventually in some other video, but this time I think I'm just gonna turn the cameras off and go for it. Lacquer is a great product, but it's pretty toxic stuff. When you spray it, which is what I'm gonna do, It dries really quickly, so even when it's in the air it dries, and it creates this dust that just goes everywhere. And I'm masked up, and I really don't want to have my filming equipment out and get that all covered in lacquer dust, so I'm not going to do that. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and spray this, and when it's all dry, I'll jump back with you. So the final coat on the trunk is drying. I just brought it in from outside where I sprayed it, and it's looking really good. You'll see it here in a minute. Where I took these handle brackets and I took a soft wire brush to them and cleaned them up, and then I shot them also with some of that satin lacquer, and I think they turned out really nice. I'm not sure if you can see, they still have, you know, some rusty spots, and again, it's that look of aged antique. I mean, it's what we're looking for. So I'm happy with those. And these are the new handles. Really good quality leather, nicely stitched, double layer. They're just exactly like they were originally. And I think they're gonna look really nice. So the top coat on the chest is dry. I've already installed the handle on the other side. All that's left is to install the side. We did it. We all have successfully survived the very first episode of Hearthside Woodworks. I'd like to thank my clients for giving me the opportunity to work on this old trunk, and I'd like to thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.